pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's August 18th. Let's go ahead with this Mitchell County Supervisors meeting. You guys looked at the agenda. And I do want to put a reminder in place that when the public speaks, that we will have that 3-minute limit in place. Okay,
Yeah, I'll move to approve the agenda.
Second.
without further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the agenda is approved. How about your minutes?
I did not see a problem, so
And seconded?
Okay, no further discussion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. County Attorney, are you on the line? Mark?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep.
I don't have anything unless you have some questions for me.
I do not.
I have nothing.
nothing.
Okay. Easy come,
All
easy
right,
go.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor.
Okay, public health is here. Which one of you would like to talk?
Well, I do have some handouts.
Okay, this is Laura Huseman.
Hello. I'm assuming you guys are aware of the government COVID-19 relief fund that the governor released. So we just, in your packet, you should see, we were here to submit some funds that you guys, so we have to go through you guys to get them reimbursed. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of what you all need to do for that.
And we made sure all the department heads knew.
Okay, but it looks like, so you would have to pass a resolution. It's in that front page, so I don't know if you guys have done that yet.
No, we have not. So that's something we should be doing soon, are you saying?
Yeah, so the funds from March to July have to be submitted by September 15th.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I just got it yesterday, literally.
Yeah, and so, so public health is able to submit 25% of our salary.
I noticed that.
So Jess and I, all of our time since March has basically been COVID. And so we are able to submit 25% of our salaries. So we just did us two. So on that sheet I have for March, July, 25% of our salaries. So we should be able to get that reimbursed through this grant. But we have to go through you guys, so you guys have to submit that. And I know you guys have to do a resolution stating that all reimbursements submitted follow the federal and state of Iowa guidance. And we are not able to submit this to FEMA because we can only submit overtime to FEMA, and Jess and I are both salary. So obviously none of our time can be sent to FEMA. And then we have some, we have not purchased yet, but it's qualified expenses, stuff that we have found out that we needed. We need to upgrade our technology. We've been doing more telehealth visits, helping patients do telehealth visits at home. So we found out we need to upgrade all of our technology because we're extremely out of date. And with our testing site, we need to upgrade technology to use that. So I have that here. And then obviously August to December, we would have to submit that later down the road. But it looks like anything from March to July has to be submitted by September 15th. You guys have any questions on that, or?
And you wanted to upgrade technology for testing and what was
Testing
the first
and
thing
to
you
help, due to the COVID, there's been a lot more telehealth visits, so we've been
said? Telehealth.
helping our patients, yeah.
Well, Auditor Tish, do you want to write up the resolution, or do you want the home health to write up the resolution? And
Do you have a sample resolution?
I don't, no. So it has to be the governing board to do the resolution.
I understand that we have to pass it, but we don't have to necessarily write it up. You folks can write up the resolution.
Well, this isn't just for public health, this is for all county
This is-
government.
I wondered if somebody had a
Sheriff.
resolution all kind of.
Can I step in for a second here? I don't know who's talking, but if who's ever talking wants to get a hold of me and give me the details, I can do the resolution to
Okay.
resolve this.
It's Laura Huseman, I will contact you after the meeting.
Okay, thanks, sounds good, Laura, and I'll take care of it for
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
That resolution would have to be for the sheriff's office, roads department. What you're saying is each department has to have their own resolution, or?
No, just
No.
one for all of it.
Okay,
Can we get that on the agenda for next week then?
Yep, if that works with Mark.
If
He'll have it
Mark
ready.
has it, yeah.
You
And
guys
then I assume everybody has to show receipts, I would guess.
I would
Yes,
assume.
anytime you want something
Something like
reversed,
that.
you have to have a receipt.
Okay, do you guys have any other questions for them?
and Chris is on board with this, he's aware, so that he would have some,
He is aware, so he'd be able to submit to you guys his expenses.
okay.
And so do you need anything else from us as far as the expenses?
Are you guys aware of how much Mitchell County gets for the county? How much Mitchell County gets?
Yeah, it's like 134,000.
Yep, and I do have it on the bottom of
Yeah,
that
and
one.
I do have this as well too.
Down at the bottom,
This is
34.
updated, and on the last page it tells every county or every city in the county. The last page, if you look at that. it
Yeah,
shows the
I
expenses of
I
that.
did look that up, Jessa, after you guys told me about it, and noticed that each city in the county is listed, how much they actually get.
Okay.
Like Osage is 84,000
Yep.
plus.
But then I think they'd have to go to their councils, their city councils to request. 'cause
They
that's
would
their
have to
governing-
take care of their
governing
own
board.
separate,
Yep.
right, we wouldn't be involved with that, correct? Yeah, since it's through July, we could start getting everybody turning their stuff in, couldn't we?
Mhm.
Well,
Treasurer already has.
apparently,
Has she?
Yep,
Good,
there's a receipt.
good for her. Okay, and Lowell, we might wanna think about a date we want them to turn it in by, because you want some time to work on it, and that's September 15th, we'll be here before we know it.
Mhm.
So I'll leave that up to you, what date you wanna give them.
More questions for public health while we're here?
I don't think so.
So is the process just gonna return our receipts and we'll get the resolution made if that approves or
Try to
return
get that.
everything to Lowell then?
Yeah, bring them to my office,
Okay.
please.
Do you need anything else for salary? I have it on here, I should give you one of these. Do you have an extra?
Yeah,
one?
if you have something,
Or, oh, I do have it right here.
okay, thank you.
Yep. So I mean, all the claims should be here for our salaries, but, we haven't purchased the stuff after the expenses, because we wanted to make sure they were gonna be approved before we purchase them. So do we need to get approval from you guys before we purchase that stuff?
Was that the ones that would be for technology?
The technology, we did already purchase the thermometers, but everything else we have not purchased.
basically everything on your August 2020.
Yeah, everything but the thermometers we have not purchased.
Okay, are you guys looking at the list?
And it is under the qualified expenses on that sheet I gave you guys.
Mm-hmm. And Surface Pros, is that, computers?
Yes.
Well, those are the big ones. Anybody have any questions, that would probably be a no. But since you are using them so much for COVID, it would be nice to have part of it covered.
But that would be in the next quarter,
That would be the, yes.
that
Because it's March 1st to July
August to
1st.
December.
Yes, August to September is the next one, and then after that would be until
Right,
December.
so it wouldn't be in this one,
Yeah, it wouldn't be in the one you submit in September, correct?
right? So if you guys wanna think about that, we can put that on the agenda too.
Yeah, we'll have to
I'd
put-
kinda like to see how everything comes out, just with the total of everybody's department. I'm kinda curious.
Well, and we would also be submitting 25% of our salaries for the next quarter as well.
Correct.
Okay, so that's not technically on here.
That's, yeah, I have an
That would be
estimate of
the
what it would
future.
be from
The
August to
10,000.
December.
I can't discuss that.
Okay, Lowell, does this all make sense to you? As far as her stuff she's turning in?
I think so. Laura and I can talk
You've got
about
the
it.
information you need,
I think-
okay.
Okay, and I'll submit that stuff to Mark Walk
Yeah,
today.
yeah,
I'll
that'd be
call him
good.
and get that figured out. Okay,
and we'll make sure we put the right stuff in our resolution.
So anytime we wanna request something, we have to get approval, then first from you guys, let's say we wanna go, to put in this, for this FEMA,
yeah, do you want us to get approval, or do you want us just to submit expenses to Lowell?
or is that across the board, everyone has to get approval, or how does that work?
This is all new, so we haven't discussed this. Opinions, guys?
We still would have to wait till next week to approve it, right?
Right.
But like in the future going forward, like if there's something else that we need that falls under this.
If
so
it's a
everything-
qualified,
The proving it isn't a problem, it's just that we have to wait till next week to do it.
right. So if it's a qualified expense on here, are we okay to purchase that and turn in the receipts?
I would say it's a necessity.
Okay,
It isn't like you're spending a lot of money, or it's
Right.
nothing major like a
gonna
capital.
say-
well, and there's only so many things
Purchase.
you can purchase.
Right.
Right.
You're only-
That get
They're
reimbursed.
listed.
Mhm.
You know, it's only 8,000 this year. So,
Okay.
Well, I don't think we need to approve each of your purchases and that. The only thing we need to approve is when it's submitted to the government for reimbursement.
Okay, so if it's a qualified expense, we will turn in the receipts to Lowell.
That sounds
Yeah.
good.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
good with
we
that.
don't have to
Yeah.
approve of it.
okay,
Just like your normal
Yep.
Yeah,
claims.
yeah, we don't wanna be nitpicking ya.
okay. Just thought we'd clear that up, so, okay, well, thank you, and if there's no other questions, that's all I have. Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks,
if
guys.
you
Thank you,
keep us
guys.
up to date
Yeah.
on any new changes.
Yeah, we always
Okay.
appreciate that.
All right,
sounds
thank
good,
you guys.
thanks.
Okay. And Sheriff, is he gonna be here today?
No, you can't make it today.
Okay. He did give us a little note just saying that he's having a little difficulty with, he needs to hire a part-time person. And, with unemployment so high right now, he's having a hard time getting somebody to do it. He may have to actually up that position to full-time hours.
Well, and on Sunday, I did get an email from an individual here in Mitchell County that there are two individuals that are really not being nice on their ATV, UTVs. They're tearing up roads and they're not paying the state license and so on and so forth. There was two names brought in and I turned it over to the sheriff and he's gonna look into it, so.
Oh, okay.
Because this individual did not want to have everybody in the county lose their privilege.
Yeah,
Over
and that's
a
his
couple-
jurisdiction, and you're right, because it's so neat that we're able to do that, yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
and
wanna
we have a
ruin
couple,
it. Mm-hmm.
2, 3 idiots that want to ruin it for everybody, and you know, they aren't going to follow the rules anyway.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you took care of that.
That's the proper way. You give
Yep.
them a spank.
Okay. County engineer.
We've got
You
a,
forgot stuff on your agenda.
Oh, his okay, what did I miss?
we've got a
report.
We've got his
sheriff's
report, okay. All right, and I did look at it before the meeting, have you guys had a chance yet?
Yes, and I'll move to approve the sheriff's report.
Yeah, and I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The sheriff's report is approved for July. Okay, now the county engineer.
Good morning.
Good morning,
morning.
Rich.
Not much to discuss. I'm gonna drop off you guys approved that change to that project last week, and then I could print off a resolution for it. So I'll just get some signatures. I'll just drop it off at the courthouse sometime, and it can be signed whenever, for that change, last week, so.
Does just the chair have to sign it?
Pardon me? Just the chair, yeah. Chair and the
How
auditor.
soon do you need that, Rich?
What's that?
How soon do you need that signed?
It's not important. I submitted the changes already with a date on it from last week. You guys approved it, so whenever it gets done.
Okay,
Doesn't go anywhere but in.
I might stop out after this. Will you be around?
Okay.
And get
Yeah,
it done?
yeah, I'll be around.
Yeah, then I'll get it done.
Okay. Other than that, I don't have much to report that's changed much this week, so if you get any questions for me, you can ask them.
No, I noticed you said that you have somebody retiring, but you really didn't need to hire anybody because we had hired an extra before, so.
Oh, sure, yeah, I guess I did forget about that. Yeah, we, got a resignation last week, and, if you guys remember, we did hire an extra person last time in the event that we were gonna have retirements coming in, so, at this point, just kinda keep the crew status quo unless we feel there's a need for additional help, but, like I said, last time we hired it for people, so.
Sure.
It's always nice to have more, but we'll just take and work what we got for now and see how the season goes. It'll mean have to hire more part-time, probably seasonal employee for there, but
Okay, that sounds good. You don't have to worry about that right now then.
no. So,
And,
our truck is still out till September yet, so, maybe we'll see it in a few weeks. So,
okay.
that's all
Nothing-
I've got for you, really.
All right, that sounds good. Okay, and you kind of cut out there yet, Rich, but,
It wasn't anything important, I just said,
Okay.
sorry, I'm so uneventful this morning, there's not a lot going on today.
okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Okay, items of note, I had 3 meetings. One was with, public health care, and home health. Medicare is finally starting to pay. We are up to 89 census, so that's rising. We were able to get a wound nurse agreement in-house with our nurse for $50 an hour, which is much better than outsourcing, which was going to be $190 an hour. Let's see, as they said earlier, we're up to 83. I asked specifically if any of them have had to be on a ventilator, and only one has in Mitchell County. They don't think that it's necessarily going down at all. They just think that people maybe aren't getting tested enough. They think if they aren't sick enough for the hospital, then they tend to not get tested, but they're still exposing people. Supposedly in October or anytime, a 5-way swabbing test is supposed to be coming that it could have lab results within 2 hours, but you can't do as many a day then. It's for those who don't want to be exposed by going into a doctor's office. And we have a contract with Test Iowa until April. Jessa Kettleson, the public health director, received an increase to $27 an hour. And she is salary and will stay salary. And during this COVID, she's worked like 70 and 80 hour weeks. It's slowed down a little bit now, but she's done a lot of overtime with no extra pay. Let's see. We're actually going to reevaluate that in 6 months because that gives us a chance to compare job descriptions with others and what they are doing, because she's actually had a lot of duties added on to her job, so we'll be reevaluating that. As she said, the county got allocated $134,000 for COVID, specifically COVID items. It was suggested that they possibly get mats and more comfy chairs for those at the testing site to prevent back issues, but there was no action on that. And that's it for that one. Northeast Iowa Workforce CEO meeting. We got through our whole agenda in the 2 hours. That was pretty exciting, since often we don't get past the first one on the agenda. We'll have 21 board members. The governor is no longer involved with boards anymore. When looking for local board members, the chair and vice must be in business. I thought I was going to be able to get the Art of Education on there, but they have too many things going on with their school that they're not going to be able to. And we had a representative from Valent who does not have time and hadn't been attending the meetings for quite some time. And so I called and talked to her, and she said, you know, she'd be more likely if they stayed remote. And I said, well, they're not going to stay remote forever. And as a matter of fact, a lot of this stuff we've started meeting as long as we can find a big enough place for social distancing. And I asked her if she had anybody else there, and I didn't get a reply back from asking a few times. So I called Fox River, and we will have a representative from there on the business of the local board for workforce development, so that's good. I was very pleased about that. Intercog of Waterloo, which is the one that we're probably going to have for a fiscal agent. They've been giving us some information and writing up contracts, and all that's being worked on. Let's see. We're gonna have John Beard, Ken Kmeyer, and Corey Eberling. They will be working on some stuff having to do with that fiscal agent for on our next agenda. And we're only gonna have, instead of contacting all 20 of our county attorneys, we're just gonna contact one for this. So we don't spend so much time like we did before. Let's see. Linda is reviewing, she's from state, she's reviewing our bylaws and gave us some possible changes that we'll take into consideration. And we have to be fair about sending out to all providers of Title I youth, adult, and dislocated worker programs. We'll try to have their RFPs to look at sent to us ahead of time, but we want to make sure we hit all of them to be fair. And 8 people turned in their resolutions for the 28E so far, and we were one of them, so I'm proud to say that. And we will be still having weekly meetings at least through September to get these new changes in place. Then a short one, even though it lasted 5.5–6 hours. Yesterday I was in Waterloo for the 22 counties for Iowa Workforce, or not Iowa Workforce, for County Social Services. And we had 5 people to interview. One person did back out at the last minute, literally. But the candidates that we had were so good that we really don't feel the need to interview a fifth person. And after that, we decided to give a second interview. We narrowed it down to 2. And we hope to get that done yet this month. Okay, Steve, did you have any?
I had one meeting of the Boyd Mitchell Chickasaw landfill, and we approved the agenda. Eight members were present and 3 from the public. We approved the agenda, approved the minutes. We discussed a list of bills for July 2020. There was nothing from the citizen forum. On new business, we discussed the financial statements of July. Everything is on par. The only thing brought up is that we had an additional customer in July who $110,000 more come in July, so that will show up in the tipping fees for August. Moving on, we had a discussion of the rough draft of the comprehensive plan, and had numerous comments from over the area on the plan. Further discussion was held on these plans and how to address them for the final form is what we discussed. Carpenter, Stacyville, Mitchell, and McIntyre did not get back with us on their pricing information. So that was for the Mitchell County area. They had sent out a form on each of the entities, City of Osage and Riceville. And this had to do with the amount of garbage coming in. They're trying to hold, well, so we're not filling up the landfill. It's kind of you have a couple of bags, and it's about to amount to 100 pounds of refuse. Anyways, that's kind of the plan that is set up for the landfill through the DNR, for the public, the amount of people in the area. And what's happening is, and I don't quite understand all of it, but some people are getting in big dumpsters and they're hauling in, and they're trying to get that halted so that more metals are being recycled, more glass is being recycled, cardboard is being recycled. So it kind of keeps that coming into the landfill down. Anyways.
I know I do my bit.
Yes, I do too. We had a discussion and review of the annual budget numbers. We have no major expenses for the next year. We're on target. For the budget expenses so far, we are. The only issue that could be in our future is leachate cost, which is going to be a problem for the landfill coming into the future. With Osage not taking as much leachate. We're hoping that Charles City will be able to take some of that. Anyways, the budget was approved by the full board and will be set for the full board in September to approve. On old business, we had a discussion regarding the 5-year plan for equipment replacement, and we need to have ideas for the future projections of equipment. And we're going to talk with the employees and hours on the machines and everything. That'll give us a better idea of what our expenses and things will be in the next 5 to 7 years. And it's it's kind of gonna be more of a guideline than a plan. Because if a machine's working fine, even though it's got high hours, I'm sure they'll continue to use that. And, there was nothing else left to discuss, so the meeting ended.
I only had one meeting, and that was county conservation, swore in Jim Overfeld as taken over for John Coster's position. And it was actually John Coster's turn to be the chair. They all decided since Jim had served 2 full terms, he was qualified to be the chair, and so they also appointed Jim then right away to, that way the rotation stayed the same. Basically, they didn't have a lot on the agenda again, that they did discuss quite a bit about the Stacyville Park. It's coming along. It's not coming along as fast as they'd like, but they really do feel by the end of the year that they should pretty well have things ready to go for next year.
I hope so.
Again, it looks like their pond is getting a lot of use already, which is, they talked about signage for the pond. Maybe that's something that they need to talk to the county attorney about, because again, you don't want to put signage up that maybe will make you more liable than not, with the wrong type of signage. And so they also mentioned that they did not get the grant for purchasing the 200 acres plus there by Stacyville. They're going to try some other avenues in order to raise money, and I think this would still be something for our new board come January 1st. This is something that they don't need to try to raise all of the money they could, but they do need to raise a few $100,000 in order to make this thing, to be able to purchase it. And that is something our new board could maybe look at with TIF money. That's a possibility. So in any event, the other thing, for the last 3 weeks, I've been helping county conservation with the can thing. And I've been spending 6 to 8 hours a week sorting cans. Basically, there's just, since Fireworks have quit taking cans and other outfits have quit taking cans, they are getting overloaded. And Friday morning, I got everything cleaned up. Monday morning, the dumpster at St. Ansgar was half full. It was overflowing at the recycling center again. I worked 3.5 hours yesterday, got it all cleaned up. I see the dumpster yesterday, or this morning at the recycling, that's full again.
Well, there's no place for people to get reimbursed right now, is there?
Not close by, but Kevin at the recycling center gave me a lead, and it turned out to be a very good one. We can take our stuff to Lake Mills, and
Still away.
we will only get 4 cents a can, but that's better than nothing. And apparently that they got quite a crew over there that can handle it, and so on and so forth. So starting later this week, I'll be driving a load of trailer load of cans over to Lake Mills.
As long as it's worth the gas over.
Well, trailer load,
it's
you're
good,
basically
that's
one bag, even at 4 cents, there's about 14 cases. And so 24, let's see, 24 cans times 4 cents is just basically $1. There's you get about 12 to 13 cases in a bag, so that'd be $12 to $13. You can probably get 40 to 50 bags at least in the trailer, so you know, you're talking $200 at least.
For your trip over.
So yeah.
Be worth it.
And, you know, my time is I'm getting paid 0, so,
Oh, well, then that's really good
well, yeah,
for us.
so, I mean, it's just a matter of the gas for driving to Lake Mills and back, so.
You talked about signs for Stacyville. Do they need to have something like no lifeguard on duty or?
Again, that would be something that the county attorneys should talk to the county
Sure.
conservation. I don't wanna,
Right, that's fine.
I don't wanna say anything that could possibly put us in. Mark, you on? Yep,
Says he is.
give him time here. Mark? Apparently he's not listening, so. But that's something, again, like you say, that, and I can remind Mark or whatever to talk to him. 'Cause,
Sure.
we don't wanna make any indication at all that,
That's fine. Okay,
so that was my meeting.
all right, thank you. Clerk of court report. Looks like nothing unusual,
So noted?
so noted. I wanna take a moment, just because we've been having so many questions. Lowell and Rachel took care of getting information out about voting online, so people can look that up. But for those who don't have a computer, I just wanna mention that you have some options. If you're doing absentee voting, I would recommend that you, vote early, in case the mail is slower than usual. You certainly can vote in person right on November 3rd, because we're open from 7 in the morning till 9 at night. That should cover pretty much everybody's hours that they could get here. And also, we're open the 2 Saturdays before from 8 to 5 for voting. Or there is that drop box on the south side that can be used.
I'll add, you can vote at the counter any day,
Yes,
starting October 5th from 8 to 4:30.
October 5th starting.
Well, apparently the 3rd of October, the St. Ansgar Enterprise Journal is going to be putting out another issue again, that'll hit everybody in Mitchell County. They're making 6,500 copies, and I would recommend that the county commissioner of elections maybe take out an ad with that same information on voting in the paper, because that hits every household in Mitchell County.
Sure, that makes sense. Keep that in mind, Lowell.
We already scheduled an interview with the Enterprise.
Excellent.
But I'd also say.
So give her that information, and I think that should be considered public knowledge, so there should be a story on that. I don't think we should have to pay for an ad.
Yeah, because there certainly is a story going on. So that would be nice. Oh, and they asked, do you know if they've sent out ballots yet? People are asking me if they're getting them in the mail.
There's no way you can have ballots yet because the.
It wouldn't be till October 5th, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yes.
You still
That
have.
was my understanding.
You still have a deadline for people of August 26th that the presidential, they haven't had their notification yet. You can't, why would you have ballots out this early?
Yeah,
Because the whole process isn't even complete yet.
right. Yes, I understand that. So I'll
It's the same
probably
thing
add.
every 2 years.
I'll probably add something on that, and maybe Rachel even wants to add that.
Yeah, I wish you would just let us handle this. This is our job, it's our responsibility.
I know you and I have a different opinion on that. I do believe it is your responsibility, but I also feel it's my responsibility to be able to answer what you're doing.
Well, I think just, if people ask, tell them to contact the auditor's office.
I do. I do tell them that, but I also still feel like I should know myself.
So that's kind of like micromanaging.
Okay, difference of opinion there. All right, anything else about public? Do you have some comments?
You skip manure management.
Okay, sorry, I don't have manure management on mine. Was there a later one sent out that I missed? Okay, manure management
There's 2 of them.
reports.
Peter notes site 1 2541 370th Street, Osage, and Peter Mill Site 2, 2611 370th Street.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Public comments.
No, I meant with Lowell. Do you have anything else?
No, I don't.
Public comment, please. Anything?
I'm just curious, how many active corona cases are in Mitchell County? Was it something
80, well, just 14 right
14
now.
active,
14 active?
Yeah,
Okay.
with 83
total,
since the start.
Yeah,
but 14.
don't they kind of put it under their website or whatever?
Yes, yes.
It hasn't been on there, that's why I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
Last
I haven't looked at it because I guess I've talked
Wasn't
about
week
it.
old. Last update was week old, so.
And maybe they're doing it once a week now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. All right, meeting adjourned.